In the early 1970s, in Hamburg's famous entertainment district of St. Pauli, dark events were unfolding unnoticed. Fritz Honka seemed like an ordinary man, short, bespectacled, and in his 40s. But behind this ordinary appearance, he harbored terrifying secrets. Honka lived in a small attic apartment in Hamburg's Altona district. At night, he spent time in the bars of St. Pauli. He would meet lonely and vulnerable women in these bars and invite them to his home. Unfortunately, many of these women were never seen again. Fritz Honka had 4 confirmed victims. These victims were typically middle-aged or elderly women who worked or frequented the bars in the St. Pauli district. Here are some details about the known victims. Gertrude Brauer, 68, Honka's first known victim, murdered in December 1970. Brauer worked as a cleaner in bars in St. Pauli. Anna Buschel, 54, murdered in July 1974. Buschel was also a woman who worked in the bars of St. Pauli. Frieda Roblick, 57, murdered in December 1974. Roblick was homeless and struggled with alcohol addiction. Ruth Schuld, 52, believed to be Honka's last victim, murdered in April 1975. Like the other victims, Schuld lived in the St. Pauli area. These women shared common traits: they lived on the fringes of society, faced economic hardships, and many struggled with alcohol addiction. Honka preyed on their vulnerable circumstances. Honka was sent to a psychiatric clinic on the grounds of insanity. He died in 1993. This tragic series of events drew attention to the dangers faced by the most vulnerable members of society and led to a re-evaluation of social services and police work in Germany. There are some additional details about Honka's victims. However, most of this information is quite distressing and upsetting. Here are some additional details. Victims' background. Most of the victims had difficult living conditions. They were often low-income, homeless, or living in temporary shelters. Many of them struggled with alcohol addiction, making them more vulnerable. Meeting place: Honka often met his victims at a bar called Zum Goldenen Handschuh, the Golden Glove, one of St. Pauli's most infamous bars. Method of murder: Honka usually strangled his victims. Most of the murders were committed while under the influence of alcohol. Condition of the bodies: Honka dismembered the bodies and hid them in various parts of his apartment. He used a large amount of pine-scented air freshener to mask the odor. Lack of missing person reports: most of the victims did not have official missing person reports filed. This was indicative of their social status and one of the factors that complicated the investigation. Forensic challenges: due to the condition of the bodies, identifying some of the victims was quite challenging. Forensic experts focused on dental records and other physical characteristics. Societal impact: these murders drew attention to the dangers faced by those living on the margins of society. The case led to a reassessment of social services and police work in Germany.